God's law versus the law of Moses. Many people often confuse Moses' law with God's Ten Commandment law, but they are very different. Moses' law was the temporary ceremonial law of the Old Testament. It regulated the priesthood, sacrifices, rituals, meat and drink offerings, etc., all of which foreshadowed the cross. This law was added till the seed should come, and that seed was Christ. Galatians 3 verses 16 and 19. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. Wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come, to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. The ritual and ceremony of Moses' law pointed forward to Christ's sacrifice. When he died, this law came to an end, but the Ten Commandments, which are God's law, stand fast forever and ever. In Psalm 111 verses 7 and 8, the works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. Two separate laws are involved here. God's law, which are the Ten Commandments, and Moses' law. God's law versus Moses' law. Luke 2:22. And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. The law of Moses was actually called the law of Moses. In Isaiah 5:24, therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. God's law is called the law of the Lord. Ephesians 2:15. Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace. Moses' law is called the law contained in ordinances. And James 2:8, if ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. God's law is called the royal law. 2 Chronicles 35:12, and they removed the burnt offerings that they might give according to the divisions of the families of the people, to offer unto the Lord as it is written in the book of Moses. And so did they with the oxen. The law of Moses was written by Moses in a book. Exodus 31:18, and he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. And Exodus 32:16, and the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God graven upon the tables. God's law was written with his own finger upon stone. Deuteronomy 31:26, take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. The law of Moses was placed on the side of the ark. Exodus 40:20, and he took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the staves on the ark, and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. God's law was placed inside the ark. Colossians 2:14, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. Ephesians 2 verses 15 and 16, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace, and that he might reconcile both unto God in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. The law of Moses ended at the cross. Psalm 111 verses 7 and 8, the works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. And Luke 16:17, and it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail. God's law will stand for all of eternity. Galatians 3:19, wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. The law of Moses was added because of sin. Romans 7:7, what shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. And Romans 3:20, Therefore by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. God's law points out sin. Colossians 2:14, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. The law of Moses was contrary to us. It was against us. 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. God's law is not grievous. Hebrews 7:16, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. The law of Moses is carnal. Romans 7:14, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. God's law is spiritual. Hebrews 7:19, for the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which we draw nigh unto God. The law of Moses made nothing perfect. Psalm 19:7, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. However, God's law is perfect. And Colossians 2 verses 14 and 16 say, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. The law of Moses judges no one. James 2 verses 10 through 12. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. God's law judges all people. And if you would like to see how God's law reflects God's character, please see the first video in my 10 Commandments series. I'll place a link in the description. I hope and pray that you are blessed by everything you watched here today. God bless.